Burning Man 2012. It was amazing. I felt like we were rewarded for our faith, whether tickets or weather. Before it started, there was all sorts of horror news and people freaking out about the dust was going to be terrible, the weather was going to be horrible, there was going to be too many newbies, the event was ruined, and it was the best year ever. Up until Friday, we had incredible weather. Actually, it's all incredible, but Friday night we had a pretty serious ongoing dust storm. The kind of dust storm that makes you go, yeah, this is what I'm here for. It was actually epic and glorious, and I'm so glad that we got that dust storm. It would have been a shame to just have a week at the beach, you know. So it was incredible. Incredible. My experience was a little different this year. I was very much in the mode of hosting. I spent a lot of time in camp. At night I kind of wandered around, but mostly kept coming back to camp and hosting and receiving people and keeping the camp, you know, in a good place. We had 85 amazing campmates, and the camp was one of the most proudest things I've ever been a part of. And so I want to share a little bit, just show some pictures from the camp so you can see it. So, oh, darn it. I'm going to have to change the audio for each one. Okay, well, I'll do this. Pink Heart Camp. It's beautiful. It's amazing. You can see the dome on the left, our big shade structures, the spires. It was a place to hang out and get shade and ice water. We gave out like 700 gallons of cucumber water. Thousands of servings of coconut milk vegan ice cream. Infinite hugs and love. It was incredible. I felt so proud. We stepped it up more so than in years past even, where it was more comfortable, more loving, more resources, more stuff to give. The campmates were all more into it. And we also, one of the things that was really cool is that we were much brighter at night as well. Rocket Man, as well as Sexy Situation, both contributed insane amounts of LED pink lights. And so you could see us from the opposite side of the playa, you could see us from the Man, you could see us from the temple. We became a beacon, and people kept using the term beacon, which was so rewarding. We got a new dome cover this year that was made by someone who didn't camp with us, but was kind of extended family, and it looked like this gorgeous quilt. It had all these patchwork, different fuchsia patterns, and it looked like how to make an American quilt. It was just loving, and it made me so proud when I first saw it revealed, and it was like, wow, yes, this is exactly the vibe that we're going for. Inside, it was amazing. This is inside the dome. It was relaxing and beautiful, and it was nice to see people, you know, use it for all sorts of things, whether cuddling, whether a lot of acro yoga, and even a little bit of nookie. You know, I ended up spending very little time out of camp. I never even crossed the 6 o'clock. I never saw the other side of the playa. I didn't see a ton of art. I had to very early in the week to say, you know what, your plan is going to be present, whatever you're doing, and don't get in that thought of like, you're missing, because that's a trap. To be fair, next year I think I will try to set some scheduled like times to do art tours and to like friend visit times, because even by Burning Man standards, I missed way too much. But some of the reasons is because I had commitments. I spoke, did 3 Hug Nations, I spoke to 2 other camps, I did a wedding, and so there was a lot of time that I was either doing things or preparing for things or making sure I was available for things. I ended up giving the TEDx Black Rock City talk. And that was a good experience. It didn't go nearly as good as my San Diego one, but it was certainly an honor to be a part of it. By far the most amazing thing, which is the same thing every year, was the pink ride. So on Thursday, we did an hour hug, or about 30 minutes Hug Nation talk, and it was great because while I was talking, I mean, I was only aware of about 30 or 40 people that were, crowded in, and then when we went out to our bikes before we rode to center camp, there was like 130 people, and the instructions that I gave everyone is, as we're riding, as we're making this parade, and everyone's dressed in pink, try to say either a compliment or "I love you" to everyone that we pass by. And so it was this experience of 100+ people, all in pink, this pink wave going through along the Esplanade, just like, "I love you, I love you, I love you." It was like this rippling pink, gorgeous love. It was, So here's some pictures from that. Getting ready, rallying the troops. I love that there's people kissing behind me there. This is a shot by Trey Radcliffe, who's an amazing photographer who I connected with at Center Camp. He got a bunch of great pictures. The troops. And then when we got to Center Camp, before we went inside, we made a big, huge holding hand circle to kind of like get us all together before we went inside and made this loop-de-loop-de-loop-de-loop-de. It was, just that circle was amazing. And then we did a real quick Hug Nation hug, and then everyone just spent the next 30 minutes hugging one another. Literally 30 minutes. I mean, I in the center of the camp, after we were done, quote unquote done, we just hugged each other, and that one after another person, next person, look him in the eyes, long hug. The next person, look him in the eyes, long hug. Maybe share a word or two. It was incredible. I felt so full of love, and it was. I mean, look at these gorgeous people. And then we went back to camp and had vegan ice cream. And then I made a second trip out to the temple where I did a shorter talk about more somber things. So this is in front of the temple, sharing some tears and thoughts. The temple was incredible this year. The detail, the intricacy, it was just wow. Another fun part of my week was that my friend Dean, he called me, or he left me a note, a couple weeks before the burn, and was like, "Hey, I'm not going to be able to go." He's never been. He's like, I'm not going to be able to go, but I was wondering if you could bring an art project to the burn for me. And I was like, I'm a little, overcommitted. He's like, "Well, just have lunch with me, okay? I want to explain it to you." I'm like, "Okay." Like, that sounds like a lot of responsibility. And so, you may have seen pictures I posted before him, but he wanted to make me a superhero, Hug Nation superhero costume. And I'm like, "Well, that's freaking awesome!" And so it had this incredible 9-foot, 11-foot cape, and so I had a lot of fun wearing that kind of at sunsets a couple of nights, and it lit up. So here's a few pictures of the costume. Mr. Hug Nation in front of our camp, spreading the pink heart love. This is actually one of my favorite pictures you know, from the event. It's just this how I was feeling most of the time, was as a hugging superhero. Once again, my friend Aaron did the heart light. And you may not be able to see it from this picture, from the size of it, but it's a bunch of lights in the shape of a heart, so it actually makes a reflection in your pupil in the shape of a heart. So he just put this online. I'm eager to see the rest of the ones that he put up. It's not photoshopped, but it looks exactly like how you feel. The other cool thing about this costume is you can kind of see there the close-up. There's EL wire, so at night it lit up. This is me with one of my scepters at night. I managed to run into a guy who was taking these long exposures of the moon and the clouds, and I said, "Will you take my picture?" So he took this one of me, a guy named Tom O. It's just gorgeous. I mean, you can see like the shadow from the man and the moon. I even actually made it into the LA Weekly. Curious Josh took my picture in the costume. Now, I don't normally use the word costume, but it's kind of part of the fun of this, is that, you know, this was a superhero, an alter ego. One of the things that was fun about what I did is, you can see I've got that scepter there that glows, and so I started to make a backstory about this pads and the scepter. And because the truth is, it's actually, you know, it's not the best hugging costume. And so I made up this whole backstory where I'm like, well, you know, from my home planet, our hearts are so vibrant and bright that if I hugged you without these protective plates, you would explode into pure light. So it's not as comfortable, but it's for your safety. Kind of like the glasses that that X-Man wears to tone down his ray vision. And then so I had that scepter that glowed, and so I walked into these crowds of people, and I would go, "Bzz, you are loved. Bzz, you are loved. Bzz, you are loved. Bzz, 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 loved, loved, loved." It was a lot of fun. Yeah, so, you know, my experience was a lot of Pink Hearts hosting, a lot of speaking, and a lot of hugging and loving. It was best year ever. Can't wait to start preparing for next year.